Hey, this is Travis with Comics Limited. I'm live right now. It's been a while since I've been on live streaming. Live TV. I'm on live TV. I'm not. But come on in and join the group. If you want to come on live, if you want to go live, if you want to chat, we can. You can join me. I can throw you in. I'll give you the link and everything to my StreamYard. So. Anyway, I am gonna switch over here so I can see the comments. Hey, Big B, you gonna come in and join? Water's nice. It's clean. Nice big purple wall behind me. It looks like the purple wall from work, but it's not because there's some comic boxes. There are no comic boxes at work, other than I guess this is still kind of work. So, yeah, I just got back from a camping trip where I was running a camp with some kids from my church group, and it was blast. Really good time. Beautiful area. Went into a cave. Got to walk through. Went down to the ape caves. Yeah, and so it was good. It was fun. It was awesome. I'm gonna go ahead and hiya, Big B. Or actually, how do I do that? I think I can show the comments. Look, see Big B McFly. He says hi. I don't know who's else on here, but welcome if you're in and hang out and come and join, and we can talk. And anyone who wants to join, if you don't have to be like I'm a YouTube comic book guy, but you might have an opinion about comics, and if you want to talk, you're more than welcome to join. I'm going to kind of show some comics though, so and we'll go from there and kind of see what we got. So. And so I'm going to type back to Big B real quick. Hiya. Back at ya. So if you, you see that I wrote back hiya, back at ya. At ya. Kind of keeping the same theme going. Anyway, so I do have a second camera. I don't know. Can I see when people jump into my backstage? Yeah, I think I can. I don't think there's a. Let's see here. Is there a backstage kind of here? Ooh, I can do a picture-in-picture layout. That's cool. All right, so I think maybe I'll start off with some random books that I've picked up over the last few weeks, or someone has bought for me, or I won in a giveaway or something of that nature. So it's starting off with this one. I got this one. This is I'm going to go ahead and picture-in-picture me, I think. Okay, no, I don't want to do that. I want this one to be picture in my picture. Well, I guess I can't do that. That's fine. All right, so maybe I'll just bring this up so you guys can see I make it big. All right, there we go. All right, so I got this really cool Tyler Kirkham signed bloody. It's the bloody damaged Superman. I think it's Superman #1. It doesn't say on the back, but still, it was a con exclusive for. Doesn't say specifically, but it was a con exclusive, and I picked it up just because, well, it's Tyler Kirkham, and I dig Tyler Kirkham stuff, and so yeah. Anyway, so let's see here. And why does it seem like I am not? Almost like I'm not the primary on this one. It's kind of weird. But I can end stream, start stream. Oh, here we go. Private chat. Let's see if anybody's in the private chat. No one's in the private chat. All right, cool. All right. So anyway, yeah, I mean, you know what? If you want to join, here's the stream. Come on in. Yeah, the water's nice. All right, so that's the Tyler Kirkham book. And I think I'll go ahead and see if. There we go. I can be big and next to it, and I think you guys can see pretty good, and that's pretty cool. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. And then the next book I'm going to show. Pardon me. Sorry about that. is a Carrie Andrews exclusive. It's the whole X-Men team. I believe this is like X-Men number the one right before the final series, and it's pretty cool. Can you go get me some water? So I'm just gonna die here. I want to do that. Anyway, so we got this really cool Carrie Andrews cover. Carrie Andrews kind of homages the 90s, embodies the 90s. This might be an X-Men 97 issue. I kind of want to know. You all want to know? I want to know. We're going to look. I don't know who else in here. Say hi if you're in here. Come into the chat and say hi. No, it's Rise of Powers of X number 4. So, yeah, cool book. And it's a con exclusive for C2E2. Or, yeah. I also ended up with a limited of 245 600 of a scan Siriwan. I can't say the name. Swiswan. It's an homage to Ultimates number 1, but it's the Ultimates number 1, homaging the Ultimates number 1. And so here we go. We've got that. That would be this really great cover going back to the original Ultimates number 1, and it is homaging for the new Ultimates number 1, and it's a limited of 1 of 600, and this one's issue number 245. Comes with certificate of authenticity. I have read this book. I enjoyed this book. This story was really good. Then this is another book. This one was something my father-in-law picked up. What's really cool is it's Ultimate Spider-Man number 1. It is a Inic exclusive. Oh, sorry, Ultimate Spider-Man number 5. Inic exclusive 1 of 800, and this issue 1 is 137 of that. What's really cool, I don't know if you ever saw the the Spectacular Spider-Man or even Ultimate Spider-Man shows. Well, they're using the symbol on the back of that for that, and it's just pretty cool. As you know, if you've been reading Ultimate Spider-Man, Spider-Man hadn't really picked the color of his suit when he first started in there. So anyway, hi Brian again. Are you going to join me? What is going on here? That is so weird. Anyway, are you going to join me? You can. Be fine. I'd like to have you here. Be cool. All right, so this Ultimate Spider-Man number 5 Inic cover. It's featuring Peter before he had decided on the current Spider-Man suit, which is the traditional type style Spider-Man suit. And then in my eBay hunting, I was trying to find myself another copy of number 1 of X-Men 97s because it was such a hot comic that I just couldn't hang on to the one I had. So I bought the second printing, the one with the giant the giant trade dress. And here it is. It's X-Men 97. This is kind of an animation cover. But animation cover for X-Men 97 number 1, so and it homages the original X-Men 97 the story that was going on, so a cover from the art. So anyway, I wanted to pull that up, and back at Dallas, the Dallas the con in Dallas 3 weeks ago or 2 weeks ago, I was watching someone's Whatnot stream. It was I can't think of his name. I just went blank. That's not good. He hangs out with Comic Tom a lot. Anyway, he does these really cool special printing covers of like their female versions of Star Wars characters. This is a female version of Jango Fett.
Shouldn't that look like Omega?
and it's the exclusive. It's like 600 copies made. They don't come with certificates of authenticity or anything like that. But I picked up one of these from him on the show, and I got a discount on it. It was really cool. And I've had and sold the Kylo Ren and the um, copy of the one with Thrawn, and so this one I thought was really cool because it was looked Mandalorian. It could kind of be a what would uh, Echo look like, or not Echo, Omega would look like if she were older. Anyway, so and it's just a really cool cover, and so thought I'd pick that up. And then a few weeks ago, I won a trade from a guy from didn't win a trade. I made a trade with a guy, and I showed some books that were with that trade. And it was man, you know what? I've been with kids all weekend long. Hey, Richard. And so he said about I traded and I got these Star Wars books. Well, I didn't. Number three wasn't included, so I wanted to get a number three, but there was a set. It was still in its Toys R Us blister pack. I cut the blister pack open, of course, and because it was yellow, and I I don't like keeping comics in blister packs because especially if stuff I'm collecting. So it came with a number one, of course, and then a number two, which you guys have all seen that one before, and then the number four, like you've seen before. Yeah, I know. I skipped the number three because I hadn't shown the number three before. But here is the awesome number three photo variant cover for this book. Darth Maul. Everybody loves Darth Maul. It's everybody's favorite bad guy. He's probably the coolest looking Sith of them all. We like him because of how well he lasted in the Clone Wars and that storyline. Well, anyway, so these are some of the random books that I picked up. and then Kickstarter that I supported came through a few weeks ago. I don't know. Did you guys? I don't know if you guys heard of Evermind. We had. Hey, Richard. By the way, I just want to say hi back to you, buddy. So I see you. Thanks for being here, man. If you want to come on live, you can come on live with me. That's cool. I'd be happy to have you there. If you scroll up in the StreamYard, my link might be in there. Or I can get it to you via another way if you want. Just let me know. Yeah. So Evermind was this comic book that's by Sean Chen, the guy. If you know Sean Chen from, he did so after the Heroes Return storyline in Iron Man. Sean Chen was the artist for Heroes Return Iron Man, and he's done thousands of other stuff. So look Sean Chen up. He's a great artist, and okay, cool, no big deal. And then and he working with Daniel Wu, the actor, did a series of books that were pretty cool. Well, they did a series of books called Evermind. It's a four-issue mini series. And I supported the Kickstarter, which gave me a bunch of extra perks, which I'll also show. But I'm going to show the issues that I got because they're pretty cool. And so issue one, actually that's a wraparound cover, but I haven't pulled it out of the bag yet because I was going to do a video showing all the stuff, and then, well, just time, because I don't know, some of I graduated last week, and so it's yeah. Anyway, and Richard, you're welcome anytime. By the way, anytime you want to come on a live stream with me, man, anytime. That's issue one. Here's issue two. And So I think this is the main character, and they're these robots that can change their skin, and that's what's really kind of a cool, interesting concept. If you saw Bronze Age Nerd interviewed Sean Chen, and they talked about what they were doing, what the comic was about, and so that I thought that was pretty cool. Oh, I'm sorry, it was a 3-issue miniseries and a 4-issue, and here's issue 3, and these are all the regular covers. And then with the order I did, I also got a set of the sketch covers, which are basically the regular covers, but the sketch, man, especially on this cover. Check this one out. Just look at the cross hatching in the shading on this. This is so cool. It's such a beautiful book. I mean, it's really gorgeous, and it really makes Sean Chen's art pop. I mean, the colorists did a great job. I'm not don't get me wrong, but there's something about this black and white and sketching that he does that it's just cool. Oops, wow, I ran out of space. I mean, just look at that. Look at the shading on the face. I mean, that face shading is so cool, right? Right across there. It's just so very cool. I really totally dig that. Um, and such a great opportunity there to just have some really cool stuff. And anyway, so and then what came with it too was they came with some art cards which were really cool looking. Gives you kind of an idea of how the characters can change and stuff like that. Like this art card here is what the main character looks like in costume one time, or the main female character. And this is what her robot form is without a costume on. And then he had these sketch cards that were really cool too. And these ones, a couple of these are Jay Lee's art, they're really cool Jay Lee sketch pieces. I mean, complete sketch of done by Jay Lee. It's like it looks like the ape, but kind of Frankensteinish, so kind of scary Frankensteinish. And then here's a Jay Lee of the main female character, which boom, that's gorgeous. And then I think this is a Jim Mahfood of Bobo World, which is one of the places within Evermind. It's a pretty cool little piece. And then this one, I don't recognize the artist. I should have looked that up beforehand. But anyway, so there's kind of like they change out of their skins into other skins, and so that's why you see that ape character in there. Well, anyway, that's kind of like one of their battle droids, right? So here's one of the other battle droid looking characters. Those are the battle droids. They're in like a cage match battle, like wrestling, and so it's just a pretty sweet looking thing. And then I think, I'm wondering if she changes into the ape, because we see an awful lot of pictures with her next to the ape. And so anyway, here's one. I think this is actually by Sean Chen. And it's just it's a nice layout of the two of them together, which is really cool. I really dig it. So anyway, so that was Evermind. I got that a few weeks ago, and that's one of the ones I hadn't really shown anybody about stuff. I'll probably cut this out in some shorts and throw some shorts of these things out there with some music, the way I like to do it. And let's see what else I want to share. Let's go into the box of magic behind me. I have a box of stuff. Oh, okay. So, yeah. So, you know what? Let's do a little GI Joe update. So, I ran into this storyline that I didn't realize was written by Larry Hama but it's a part of the IDW run, and it was called GI Joe Origins. I think I picked up the Snake Eyes one a while back, and I think I showed that in my stuff. Well, anyway, I was able to find 1, 2, and 3 for a really great price from my friends at Buy More who are on Whatnot. This is just that's just a cool cover, and I think that's the B cover. Is it? Yes, it is the B cover. The B covers are really cool, but the A covers aren't bad either. So this is issue 2, A cover, and it's clearly, it's just a. I think this is still Snake Eyes. I don't think this is Storm Shadow. I think this is supposed to still be Snake Eyes after his face gets mutilated or hurt. And then of course we have is this Roadblock? If Brian's on, he could tell me. But if this is Roadblock or their heavy gunner guy, I think it's Roadblock. And so I got that book. This is all from my friends Buy More on Whatnot. And they had a show going on where they were selling sets, and this set was in there. Buy it now. And so I picked it up. Man, I just. Yeah, I can't wait to read that Evermind. I'm really looking forward to it. I think it's gonna be a great storyline. In fact, that's one of those ones that I'm really looking forward to. I kind of have to. It's been kind of weird. I got done with school, and then I had to go through graduation. I had a bunch of stuff going on with work, like off and on for the last few Roadblock. Yeah, okay. And then for the last few weeks, I've been working off and on, like 1 week 60 hours, 1 week 60 plus hours, next week 40 hours, the next week 60 plus hours, and like this week I have today off. I get paid for today, but I'm working just working like crazy, man. So anyway, so I got these GI Joe Origins. I thought they were really cool. And I'd already gotten one of them before, so I'm gonna go ahead and get the run. I think there's 16 issues of them all. Oh yeah, no, absolutely. I went on this semi-vacation thing where I get to lead. So I used to be a scoutmaster years ago, and I got out of it when my daughter was born. She's actually sitting in the room right now with me. I think she's sketching, actually drawing something right now behind me. I'm not sure what it is. And so when she was born, I decided that I needed to focus on being a dad, and that had to be my priority instead of being other kids' dads. I'm going to turn my camera this way just more so that you guys can all see me better. Anyway, so I stopped being a scoutmaster. I was a scoutmaster chaplain, actually. So I was kind of leading the boys' spiritual growth type stuff, and then yes, I always get the runs. So when the opportunity at the church we go to came up that I could get to work in that same kind of environment where I get to take boys kind of 9 to 12 out, and we get to do some camping stuff and teach them how to build fire and how to use a pocket knife and go do adventures, like go into spelunking in a cave or go across a rope bridge across a canyon in over by Mount St. Helens. It was like, this has just been kind of my passion. I mean, last year we taught the boys how to trout fish in Clear Lake, and that was pretty awesome too. So, or Silver Lake, I can't remember. It's the one of the lakes on your way up to Mount St. Helens. Anyway, so I didn't just get those things from Buy More, by the way. So, hey, there we go. That's who I got those Star Wars issues from. Welcome, Okta. So yeah, I mean, would Hall would like to join? Sure, absolutely. He can totally join. If you want to go ahead and post the link in there, if you've got it, Brian, you can do that because you're my guy. You're my guy in the chair. My guy in the chair. Yeah, that's you. But yeah, that would be awesome. Hall can totally join. We can chat it up. So my next little bit here I want to show is some GI Joe I picked up. that I got that I that they had set aside. My friends at Buymore had set aside. They threw in this Punisher issue 10, Whilce Portacio Punisher, man. This is just. I mean, there is nothing better than Whilce Portacio Punisher. I mean, maybe Texiera, maybe, or I mean, but I, I'm totally down with this. This is one of my favorite. Hey, so welcome in, and let's see. Look, hey, waving up there. Okay, Brian liked to say I had the runs, so I'm gonna show that. And Richard was concerned that I'm burning myself out. I'm not. I work. What's really funny about that Richard is that for the last 4 years, I've been going to school full time, and I've been working full time, and I serve a lot at my church and around, and then I started doing this a year ago, and then these boxes behind me, these comic boxes you see behind me, right here, not just these, but there's a whole room of them around the room here, and those comic boxes are the stuff that I'm selling. So I mean, or trading. Either way, I got a lot of things on my plate, but it's good to have a lot of things on your plate as long as you know when you have to stop. Like, I got home from the trip today, and I just knew I needed to stop, relax. That's why I don't have a new video up today for the Jack Kirby book. By the way, the Jack Kirby book, which I've been reading out of, it's a pretty cool book. I mean, it's pretty thick. And I think we're not quite half yet. We are right. I think this is where we left off. So if you've been watching my videos, then you know this is where we left off, right here. So that's page 100. And I think there's 250 pages because that's how many characters are in the book. We're 125 characters. And there's writing for each one of the characters. So yes, Whilce Portacio. Love Whilce Portacio. I met him once at, I want to say it wasn't, it was the year before the first Rose City, or maybe it was the first Rose City. Well, either way, I met him and I got to talk to him, and man, it's like everybody says so many creators are so nice, but Whilce Portacio sat and talked to me for like 20 minutes. Of course, nobody else came around at that point in time, which was sad, because here's this guy who's like if there was any artist that I would emulate all the time, that was that's who Whilce Portacio was. My 90s artist. Whilce Portacio, Brett Booth, what was that guy's name? The guy who did I don't want to say Scott Clark. I don't think it was Scott Clark, but it was a guy who did art in that same era, and he did a series called Phantom. I have it. It's in my collection box, but that's in another room, and I'm not going to run over and get it because that would be boring, because that would leave you with nothing but just the sound of silence, or my computer, man. Either one. Yeah, he is. He's awesome. We talked for a while, and I was like, yeah, dude, you inspire me. Your art was always something that just always grabbed me. I loved your muscle structure, the way you designed your body format. I loved one of my favorite covers is the cover where Iceman is kind of going up. Well, I guess it would have been up this way. And and you have Apocalypse's horseman coming after him. He still has the belt on. He hasn't released the full, power of being Iceman. And it was one of those ones that just really was cool. Well, so within getting that Punisher book, which was a giveaway, I got they had set aside some issues of G.I. Joe for me. So they're on the list already, but I haven't put them away in the box. But I got G.I. Joe 105. Great cover. Roadblock, and I think that's supposed to be Scarlet. No, it's not red hair. Well, I mean, it could be red hair. I don't know. Anyway, great cover. Love it. Lee Weeks, man, he just did some really cool stuff. And then here you go. 106 was another book that they set aside for me. Lee Weeks after Hama, so because this is a picture that Larry Hama had drawn, and so he did that too. And then we jump up to the IDW run, and I got the full storyline of Death of Snake Eyes. So issue 212.
Let me know Skywarp's in that.
None of the the Transformers are in this series.
He does eventually join them.
Probably. And then issue 213, part 2 of the Death of Snake Eyes. And then 214. Oh, running out of room on the thing, so let's move these books. 214, and then I got the 214 that has a wraparound cover as well. I ran out of clear backer boards, so I'm gonna have to get some more. But this one definitely is gonna get a clear backer board when I get it. But it's the second printing, but it's this. It has all the Joes saluting him, and if you notice down in this corner here, it's this drawing of it's this his kind of what they put up for his tombstone-ish type thing. Well, cover 215, which I already have, and I have multiple copies of, is that cover, and that is what you see down that corner. And so that's the full storyline of the Death of Snake Eyes, and which is really cool, but it's also really hard to it's not hard to get, it's expensive. But they hadn't made a really good deal on when they got the books, so they made a really good deal to me. Hey, Lettuce. Hey, K-pop. Welcome, guys. If you want to join, you're welcome backstage, and you can come on in and chat. I mean, that goes to you too, OTG. If you guys want to join, you can more than likely just come in and join. I'm talking. You can show books too. I'd be happy to share. I'll share this with you guys. So I'm just going through and showing, kind of doing a live unboxing, because I have so much stuff that I've recently picked up that it just made no sense to try to make a bunch of videos like one, and have all these shorts because I'm a shorts guy. I make shorts. That's what I do. And so it was overwhelming. So I figured I'd just show everything. And as I show everything, on this, I'll come back and I'll cut it into shorts. So make it easy. Anyway, so that was from my friends at Buy More over on Whatnot. Check them out. If you do use Whatnot, you should go to Buy More. They have a lot of really good stuff in their back issues. They always are willing to negotiate. They're good. They're fun to listen to because they're a husband and wife couple that are doing this together, and they have their kid. They've roped some of their kids into it too. So it's kind of like this. It has some chaos. They like to do games and win stuff. They have a wall. They do a wall show where they have a bunch of books up on the wall, and you have a wheel. They have a wheel that you pay to get on the wheel. You always get something, and then on top of it, then you could potentially win the wall book. So it's it's the gambling aspect of Whatnot, which not everybody likes. But their show, I feel, is like one of those fair ones where you can get it. I'm going to go ahead and show. There's the link if you guys want to join. Please go in there and grab it and just get backstage, and I will let you on. But if you don't want to, you don't have to. So again, hi, Lettuce. You're right. Those books with Will Spertasio, Brian, they were they were the future Cable there, and I admitted somewhere at one point in time that Cable is probably my favorite. Cable is my favorite X-Men character. I know, I'm a kid of the '90s. Well, I'm not a kid of the '90s. I was a 20-year-old in the '90s, but Cable's probably my favorite character. So, yep. And we're talking about Will Spertasio there, so I'm just going to share that anyway. So let's go ahead and move on to the next pile of books that I want to show. Hopefully this isn't too boring. I mean, it's fun. I have this next one's kind of here's what I here's what I got from the wheel. Here's what I got from the wheel, and this wheel had things that where you pull a box, and then you might win something on the wall. That was kind of the show. So these were my spins. And I'm probably going to go through them pretty fast just because. Is this Marvel Team Up 898 or is it? Anyway, it's weird. Deadpool Team Up number 898. I wanted to say that's a Ramos cover, but I don't think it is. Oh, yes, it is. That's a Ramos cover. Batman Fortnite number 6. I think it's this one was kind of this one was a little beat up, but they were low print run. Cool cover though, cool art. Janjin artist. It's pretty cool. This is the precursor to, or not the precursor, but one of the issues of the Knights. Oh, what is it called? But it's one of those really cool. Oh, Dawn of DC Night Terrors. And this is the Darkest Hour cover. And I actually have this one. I have the one that's broken. Oh, hey, there's Lettuce. I'm going to go ahead and let you in, Lettuce, here. You can join the window here. Come on in. And there you go. I'm going to add you to the stage. I'm just showing.
Hey.
Hey, how you doing, man?
Doing all right. How are you?
Really good. So we've actually never been on a live stream together, have we?
No, we have not. I've got a couple books that you and Bigby sent me from one of y'all's last Whatnot shows, but we have not been on a live stream together before. No.
Oh, cool. Well, welcome to
nice
my live stream. Yeah, it's nice to meet you too. And I'm glad you came. So what Lettuce is talking about is he came on to my Whatnot show. And Bigby was it was me and Bigby, and he bought stuff, and it was really awesome, and I really appreciate it because what that did for me is that helped push my channel forward on Whatnot and move me to the tiered. I'm trying to get into that final tiered status where it actually makes money. I mean, and it's not that it doesn't make money. It's just there's a level where you have to sell a certain amount for the value of what you're sending out before it turns around. And so there's a little bit of lost leader on this. But the other side of it is I'm also building a following there and trying to do all the same things, like just like I'm doing here on YouTube and stuff like that. So yeah, and I'm actually showing books that I had won on, but I had won off of spins on Whatnot on a friend of mine's show, Buy More. They were not on the show that you were on, but they were on the next show. And they bought crazy amount of books too. So
yeah, the first book that I ever bought on Whatnot was from Buy More. I've got it right here in front of me right now.
Oh, that's cool.
I was going to show it. Me and Halia are going to be doing a video with Bone Claws Comics, Jacob, tomorrow.
Oh, cool.
And I was just getting some stuff together to show off. But I got the very first book that I bought on Whatnot was on Buy More on their show. And it's a Hulk 181 facsimile.
Oh,
with,
yeah.
Avi Granov art.
Mm-hmm.
And they did like a discount show because apparently this book's damaged. They said like, yeah, it's got a little corner ding, so it's normally like a $20 book. We'll put it up for $3. And I was like, I don't care about a corner ding. It doesn't matter to me at all.
Yeah, they're totally cool about that stuff. It's really one of those things where it's really it's kind of a cool just how they really care about the people that are buying from them. And I I really like how they treat their customers. Plus, I've really got to know Joe really well.
Mm-hmm.
And so and Joe and I have been talking. We were talking about a comic he wants to do. So there may be some Travis comic book art in the future that'll be Whatnot exclusive for Buy More. So that's you heard it now, everyone. Right now, right here. So let me flip through these last books from them, and then and I'll show you what I won after that too. So Yeah, so it's a bunch of random stuff when you buy on one of the wheel spin shows.
Mhm.
So I got Deadpool Duck or Deadpool the Duck issue 5. Which it's a cool book. I mean, it's a cool looking book. A Groot #1, and I think this is a Scotty Young variant.
Yeah, I really like the cover on that. Scotty Young's like cartoony art,
Mm-hmm.
or his like chibi style art is really good. But
Yeah.
when he does it like a little bit more serious, it's got a really interesting character to it, I think.
Oh yeah, it's a real it's an interesting. I guess when I think of his art, I think of the different flavors.
Mhm.
There's definitely some stuff that I am just not into, but I recently picked up on from last week. I picked up oh no, that was from Buy More. I'm going to show you one in a second here. In fact, and one that I won, and then another one I got was Howard the Duck #11. This is I think this is actually I think I know who this artist is, but it's an homage to a famous painting as well.
Mhm.
So, but it's cool. I mean, I'm not a Howard Duck fan. I'm not a big, I don't like that, but they throw stuff that they think I'll like my way when I want to change a book out or something like that. Here's a oh gosh, I can never remember who this artist is, but their signature is it's but that's punchline cover for variant cover for Batman '92. And
Now I don't know the DC keys. That's not first punchline, is it?
no, it's not first punchline.
Okay.
First punchline was, I think, earlier. I think is in the annual from that year, if I remember
Okay.
correctly. And then I got I want to say, this is the non-foil version, so I think this might be a second printing of the Dark Forge. It's the Andy Kubert cover. So this might be, or it's a variant cover. I can't remember, but it was before they were really shouting out, "Hey, this is a variant cover." So, and let's see. No, we're gonna have to pull down this stuff. Not gonna have enough room. Well, anyway, so my final book that I had won off the wheel that led to some wins that I got because I bought a 10-pack of spins, and then I got that beautiful Captain America 600 Alex Ross cover, just gorgeous. I mean, they'd done this. I think this is still a part of the Brubaker run, if I'm correct, because it was towards the end of that. Yeah, and I just love it. It's such a great cover, and I love where he went with the story. And then I loved the art, how the writers who followed him took the character and where they took them next.
Yeah,
and that whole storyline where he goes into the pocket universe and ends up raising the son of
Zola.
Zola, yeah, Zola's son, and then Zola's son becomes the new Nomad, and he's the Nomad with the new Captain America, and I loved how that storyline progressed. I was so bummed out when they ended it right where they ended it, but I was so happy that they gave us a 4-issue miniseries in Secret Wars, where we find out that he had been blown into the infinite elevator, and that infinite elevator he survived because it actually took him to Warworld. And I thought, oh man, what a great idea. And then the same writer wrote that storyline, that 4-issue storyline, and then they jump into the elevator, him and Sharon and Steve's actual daughter, and she's a anti-venom, or a controlled venom from that universe, and they jump in the elevator and we never see him again.
Right.
And I'm just like, no. And then Nick Spencer wrote that tragic run of his with Captain America turning into a Hydra Cap. I say tragic run because I at first I did not like that run at all. And I was really hoping that what we'd get out of it would be Nomad and Venom coming back and defeating the evil Cap, and they're the ones who end up using the infinite elevator to bring back Captain America from wherever the what's the it was there I can't think of the name. It's not an she wasn't an Infinity Stone. Maybe she is an Infinity Stone. The character who came from
Kobik.
Kobik. Yeah, Kobik. And if it just whatever Kobik did to her, did to him, because that was the whole point, is the went outside of his own universe and was put somewhere else, and we never really know, other than we find out he's in weird world.
Yeah,
and
so I'm gonna do a whole like breakdown of the whole Secret Empire thing at some point as soon as I can muster up the courage to do it, because that was the run that stopped me collecting comic books for a good long while.
Wow.
Because to me there's a difference between, like, people didn't like Superior Spider-Man at first, but now it's recognized as like a really good run.
Yeah.
There's a difference between like having one of your villains learn what it's like to be you and getting an appreciation for the character that way, versus taking a character that was created by two Jewish people in the middle of World War II and turning him into a Nazi.
Yeah.
That's abhorrent, I think.
I would agree, and I didn't quit just because I'm a Cap fan and I was hopeful. But man, I wrote a scathing 3,000 word article on Comics Talk blog about that story, what I felt he needed to do to rectify it.
Yeah.
But, and I was worried when I heard he was coming in to take over after Dan Slott on Spider-Man. And man, I was really worried. But then he's the only other writer that's ever tried to undo what was done to Mary Jane and Peter all those years ago, because you have this whole thing where you had it was just one of those things where it was terrible. It was I'm gonna just switch to just you and me, or maybe us big like this. I don't know. Okay. Yeah.
You can keep the Alex Ross cover up. No one's going to complain about that, I don't think.
So yeah, for me, yes. Yeah. Thanks, Richard. I agree with you on this one, man. Yeah. So for me, I felt like Nick Spencer was given a far too much of grace to go and do this.
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't anti the story idea, other than I just hated that idea. I hated that it's not like Red Sun, right, where Superman crash lands into Russia and gets raised in a communist Russia and it becomes the Uber guy for Russia. It's not the same thing. And you can't treat Captain America with that was a little, I felt it was a little too laissez-faire for the character. You have to at least give us some indication that this is not our Captain America, right? This is not the guy who we know. This isn't just some random chance where his mom decides to join the Nazi party in America and become, anyway. I don't want to digress too much in this, but really I was worried about that when he came into this. But when he gets to the Spider-Man, his run really kept leading up to this point where Mephisto, I don't know if you guys read this, and this is spoilers if you haven't read this part of Spider-Man. And unfortunately, the next writer of Spider-Man totally undoes all of that whole storyline. And just totally calls it the Parker luck that causes it to fall apart, which I'm like, oh, come on. How many times do you have to just beat the heck out of this guy to make me and I'm really struggling with continuing to collect the comic. This is the first time I've actually felt like I can't collect a comic that I love. I mean, and so it's one of those things. But yeah, Nick Spencer came in and he was like, you know what? I'm going to undo the Mephisto part of this whole thing that happened. And I think that was, for me, that was redemption. redemption to what he did to Cap. And even though we've come to find out it's not the Cap that we know, and that I was like, okay, great, but this is still wrong. It just wasn't right to do that to the character. And it never sat well with me. I didn't like. I really struggled with how easily the other superheroes were defeated in the storyline, and how everything was just so atrociously destroyed, and that it was just like this complete and utter fall into uh, just this negative world that became of it. And I was unhappy with it. But I mean, I did like how we ended, but I didn't really care for the story itself. And the other way around goes for the Amazing Spider-Man story Nick Spencer wrote. I loved every aspect leading up to it, because it was he had all these great moments where storyline after storyline changed the character, but in a good way, and moved people forward. You know what I mean? Like, we weren't, he had the Sin Eater eat Green Goblin, all of Norman Osborn's sin. And so Norman Osborn's now was going to be not a bad guy anymore. And I thought, that is so unique. No one has done that. No one's come up with that and come to that. Let's do something like this, right? And I thought, wow, okay, there you go. Some more redemption. You've got some redemption, because that Spider-Man story was awesome. And then this new Spider-Man story is just has moments, but man, it just feels like corporate Disney dribble to me. Honestly, I'm not a big fan of what Zeb Wells has done. I feel like he's kind of trashed the character by deciding that nothing in the past is worth doing, or it's better just to go back to the past rather than have anything. And so, I mean, I tried to read through the whole storyline with gang war. Nah, I ended up. I'm like, I get into it. I'm like, second issue on all the other books, and I'm like, okay, done. I'm not buying anything else other than Amazing and Miles, and that's it. I'm done. I'm not even touching any of the other books.
Yeah,
and
I'm not a Spider-Man collector. Not really. I mean, we kind of all are. If you're a Marvel person, like if you see a cool Spider-Man book, of course you're going to pick it up.
Right.
But I have seen so much online about just the fact that, like, Marvel seems to be afraid to let their characters grow up, and let them change and evolve, because you get kind of hamstrung. I mean, Peter Parker's been around for what, 70 years at this point, something like that. And there's only so long he can be in his mid 20s to early 30s.
Right.
And so you just kind of start to run out of ideas, and if you don't let your character progress, then you run into this issue of everything being kind of same.
Yeah.
Or like if you try and do something completely different that goes against the spirit of the character, you've got all of this history that one writer is bucking up against, and fans don't tend to like that because it's not an organic sort of growth, But I don't know. I mean, I kind of feel like comic runs or comic characters should have like a lifespan, or if they don't, just treat every single different run as its complete own thing.
Yeah.
Which is kind of how a lot of people read them, I suppose. Like, not a lot of people will say, like, well, this happened in X book that came out a week ago, but this happened in X book that came out 60 years ago. So why don't these two things coincide? Like, this is kind of how it is, So
Right.
I guess if they were to just lean into that, that would give writers a better not a blank slate, but like a blank template,
Oh
something
yeah.
that they can work with, and that they're not hamstrung by, an awful event that happened, 5 years ago or something like that.
Oh yeah, no, I agree with that. I think what's interesting would be, I think would be best Marvel's best interest is to have better editing staff. Honestly, because I think that's where our problem is they have editors that right now that are just are a little too scared to say no, and that's what I think we have going on. I mean, that's why we have story creep all over the place. I mean, so I just finished reading the whole saga of X-Men, the Krakoan age, right?
Mhm.
And I just finished it. I mean, I was like 6 months ago. I said to everybody, I'm going to buy every single thing, or I'm going to read every single thing, and I'll give you a review of it. And man, it was intense. And then I kind of started to fall into the place where I'm like, okay, I'll read the first issue of something, and if I like it, I'll keep reading it. And then I hit stuff that I just didn't like at all. So it was like, and I was like, okay, I'm done with that. Alpha Flight, you're out. This storyline, you're out. This storyline, you're out. I don't care about this storyline. I tried to read through the Sins of Sinister, which apparently is a big part of it. Goes on there. So let's give some love to the chat real quick before I go too much further. By the way, do sub up Lettuce, do sub up Side Quest, do sub up K-pop, do sub up Dagger. These are all people that I follow. You should all follow them too. They're great people. They have great videos, they have great content, wonderful things to do. And I think if you want good comic book content, that's not just the big guys, right? Because the big guys have their content, right? The Comic Toms and here's the thing. I don't know who the big guys are. I always end up hearing about these big guys from my other friends, like from other people. But I don't generally follow the big guys. I always follow the little guys because that's what we are. We're all in this together, and so definitely sub up all these folks and sub up Lettuce. He's great. His stuff has been so much fun to watch, and you're gonna totally dig it. And we can get a what are your subs at now? Are you at you've passed 200 now? Yes.
I passed 300 today.
Wow! Congrats, man! Congrats.
Yeah, that Heroes Con video was really big for me. Actually, I guess when you show off an Avengers 4, that happens. So
yeah, Heroes Con. That was that the one in That was the one in Dallas, right?
Charlotte.
Okay, I was wrong. Okay, Charlotte. Oh yeah, that's right. That was the one right after the one that was in Dallas. Now you didn't go to the one in Dallas. I was talking about that earlier before you came on.
No.
So yeah, I decided I was going to read through stuff, and then I got to a point where I was like, okay, the only books that make any sense to read for the storyline are X-Force, X-Men. Dead X-Men actually was a pretty good book. Actually, Dead X-Men was one of my favorite books. Resurrection of Magneto was really good. And I think that kind of came out of X-Men Red, but I didn't read the last few issues of X-Men Red because it kind of fell out of my thing. So out of my purview. And I ended up reading a lot online just because it was easier to get the back issues that I'd missed that way. But I ended up, I was like, I had a pile of the Fall of House of X and Rise of X comics just sitting on a shelf waiting for me to read. I'm like, right. I really want to read those. So what does it take to get there? And so I'm like reading through. So it was X-Force, X-Men, and then the other books that were really key were like Forever was for X-Men Forever was a pretty key book. And I think it kind of was the takeoff of the other the Immortal X-Men series, because I think it was also written by the same writer. And then so that kind of set the stage for the new what was going to happen with Phoenix. So did Dead X-Men. And I loved the idea, right? So they took the ideas that the best parts of I think some of the best parts of Hickman's ideas that they took those ideas and they were actually able to create a end to the Krakoan era that didn't necessarily end it. And
Mhm.
I think that was really cool. And they also used several of the ideas that Hickman had done, and then they did something I thought was a little odd. I mean, I felt like I think if you haven't read it yet, so spoilers, everyone, you got 2 seconds to plug your ears. Don't leave, just plug your ears.
Hold on just a second. Bigby's asking me to hold this up, so I feel like I'm obligated to do that.
Well, there we go. Wait, you know what? If you're obligated to do it, then you just need to be big so you can show it. That's so cool. That is like one of my favorite Captain America covers of all time. Oh, I mean
Oh,
Avengers covers.
it's stupendous. Like I, I know we use the word iconic a lot, but
Mm-hmm.
like to me, this is more of an iconic cover than like Avengers 1.
Mm-hmm.
Like if I had an opportunity to get this book that I'm holding in my hand right now, or an Avengers 1 in a 4 or a 5, which is way higher than this is, I would probably still take this. I love this book this much, and um, I'm I'm not blown away with like the Avengers 1, but
Yeah.
uh, Bigby's asking for details, so I'll give details. Sure. I got this book at Heroes Con just a week ago, a little less than or a little more than a week ago at this point. Um, Searched for about an hour through the whole con, just going and asking people like, "Hey, do you have Avengers 4?" And a lot of them brought like 3 5s and 5s, and those are in the $2,000 to $4,000 range. So I can't afford that. And I found this guy. He had a sticker price of $600 on it, and as I was flipping through it, he offered me 5, and I just snatched it up and was able to get like um, I'm hesitant to call it my Grail book because, like, as a Captain America fan, I feel like my Grail's Captain America #1. But like, even if I owned a Cap 1, I feel like I would sell it because I don't want that in my house. um, like, I would own it, take pictures with it, and then like ship it off to Heritage Auctions and pay off my house and my car and buy another house and another car or something.
Right.
But like as far as books that I would own, this is #1 on my list. So it's really cool to be able to, you know, uh, to get this, add it to my collection, and it's all gravy from here. After this. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Well,
really,
that
really
is
happy about that.
that is so cool, my friend. That is great. And I mean that price too. Wow, I didn't know what the price was, but when you said 500, man, that is a great price. I mean, that is beyond great. That's like that's like a con level, circa 2015 price. I
Yeah,
mean,
and I
that's
mean, like, so I'll show some stuff about it. So it is it is very wrinkled. It's very wrinkled, but like I'm sending it to Jeff at Comic Spa, and he's going to take care of wrinkles, no problem. There are tears on the spine. There's like definitely some reading damage down here. There's a tear on Submariner's face right there, but like this is perfect to me. And
staples are in.
staples are in it. The weird thing about this book, the weirdest thing, right, is that's where the staples are.
Hmm.
They're on the back of the book. Like that, there is a tiny bit of like spine roll, like a tiny bit, but the reason why the spine is so misaligned on the front, like if you can see that there's the line there where the spine is, and then you can see the interior pages of the book. The reason for that is because the staples aren't actually where the spine folds over. It's on the back, and so there's space for the cover to move, and it's kind of folded over like that. So it's not in great shape, but for the price that I paid for it and knowing how expensive this book gets, like absolutely perfect for me. I was sweating bullets just even thinking about like dropping that much on a single comic book, and I wouldn't have done it if I hadn't been saving up money for like 6 months. Like
Wow.
I had that in my mind. and I knew because I had like done comps before the show because I tried to like be intelligent about it. I knew that there was a 2.5 on my comic shop. It was graded in a CBCS slab, and the guy had it up there for months at like $900. And I felt like if I offered him like 7, he would take it. But even 7 is like that's I know it's not a lot of money for like some people. It's a crap ton of money for me. And so I was just trying to, be as smart as I could about it and get a copy that I'd be happy with, and it's perfect. Right in my wheelhouse for sure.
That's awesome, man. I feel the same way. I'm not a big. I really have a hard time parting with, for one comic book, big prices, right?
Yeah.
I mean, earlier this year I got a Conan #1, which but I had the luxury for a while there of working at a comic shop, and the owner still does this with me, but I'm able to put a book on the shelf that I want that's higher priced, and I can pay it off over time. So, but and that takes time. I have the first appearance of Agatha in from Fantastic Four in a I can't remember. I think I want to say it's a 7.5 or an 8 graded. That he gave me a screaming deal on because he's like, you need to have this book in your collection so that when it's time to sell it, you can. Because the Agatha series is coming out. Of course, who's going to spec these days? But anything. Hey, I wanted to say hi to Alan. Thanks for joining the stream. And again, Richard, thank you. Everybody, you also should sub up Richard. Richard is great he follows and listens to all of our conversations. He joins in with us. He is a fantastic contributor to chats, to any kind of live stream he comes on. And just all around great guy. You know what? I would say that if I did not get the encouragement from Richard that I get for doing the videos sometimes that I do, I might have quit doing YouTube a year ago. But Richard has been a steadfast follower and a viewer of my book, of the stuff I'm putting out, and I really appreciate it. I think it's great.
Yeah,
and
absolutely. Absolutely same here. Like,
I think
Richard is an absolute super fan. I don't know how he has the time to watch and comment on all the stuff that he does, because I'm pretty sure he has a comment, like a meaningful comment on every single one of my videos, and it just means the world to me, because I'm still somewhat convinced that people will, click on my video, and then leave, just like as a charity thing. But like when Richard and other people, but we're talking about Richard right now. But when Richard leaves comments, you can tell that like he's actually watching the stuff that I make, and that's just a really cool feeling.
Yeah,
I agree. Didn't expect anything like that, and Richard was doing that. Like, he was probably like in my first 20 subscribers or something like that. And he's just such a supportive guy.
Yep,
he's super cool.
So definitely, you guys watch for Richard. If he's in your comments, you talk with him, because he is got a fantastic mind. Hey, we got a friend joining us from the backstage. I think Comic Collector Geek is going to join us right now. So here he is.
Hey guys.
Hey Alan.
How you doing tonight, Alan? Long time no see, man.
Yeah, it's been a while. So Big B said, hey, you're looking for somebody to hang out. I was like, oh, stop in.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I was just going. So this whole started out with me realizing that I had too many things coming in to me, just new books that I picked up here and there, and I decided I was going to do a live unboxing, not unboxing, but a live showing of the things that I've unboxed recently, and so I was just kind of going through the books and showing them, and then Lettuce joined, and so we just were chatting it up and talking and hanging out and talking about stuff. Cool. And kind of as comics come up, we were leading down different storylines and different places that we might go. And it's been been fun so far. So welcome in, and happy to have you here on this fun this first live stream for me of 2024. I don't think I've done a live stream. Oh no, I did an art stream a few months back, I think.
Oh, okay, cool.
So
By the way,
So, Alan,
next,
what killer stuff have you picked up recently? Because
uh,
your collection, I watch you and Bigby stream,
mhm.
and every time I look at your collection, it's like I'm looking at the face of God. Like it's awe-inspiring, but it's also terrifying.
Yeah, actually, you should see the list that I do you guys know Biggie Shack? He
Yeah.
For some reason he asked, he wants to like see who came up with the best books for the last year, like since 2023 till now. So I was giving him a list of the books that I picked up in the last year, just some of the bigger books, not all, like because I just buy too much stuff as is. Um, and some of them were like Detective 38, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles #1, and Detective Comics 140, Chamber of Chills 19. Yeah, just a bunch of like, pretty cool books. It was a crazy long list. I was like, oh man, did I pick those all up this year? So it's pretty crazy. So yeah. So
Yeah. So I've been doing a whole GI Joe run. I don't know if you've seen. I finally did a goals video. Like, so I
Mhm.
was going to do a goals video. I did a goals video, and then I never produced it. Like I
Okay.
had the video. It was sitting in there. It was me putting comics away, and I was talking about GI Joe. Like, oh, I pull out a copy of a GI Joe book that I had picked up. Oh yeah. So I've decided I'm going to do a GI Joe, and I was like, it was a fun video to do.
How close are you to getting the run?
I'm still about halfway, I would
Okay,
say.
it's not too bad.
And I'm picking it up, and
Are you
wherever
doing the
I can find
bookend
it.
way? The bookend way, like the bookend way is you get #1, and then you
Uh-huh.
get the very last in the series,
Well,
and then you
so
get all the keys in between. Then the rest is easier. You know what I mean?
yeah, so what sparked this whole thing was the new issue 301 that came out, right? So
Oh, okay.
when 301 came out, I realized that, oh, this is the same writer from the very issue 1, and I'm like,
Mhm.
okay, I hadn't ever read GI Joe, and I mean, I joke very much about how Bigby was reading GI Joe when I met him, and he did not share GI Joe with Travis. And we shared X-Men, we shared this, but really it was me. I was the one who was uninterested. I was like, the cartoon was okay, and so my daughter's sitting in here with me, and she's like, the Viper is going to wipe the windows.
Accent coward.
Well, it's cool you get your kids into it too. That's good.
Yeah, she's really into Transformers. Pardon me.
So
Sorry
am
about that. I apologize, guys. I didn't mean the cough in your ear. I didn't get a chance to mute. Anyway, so she's really into Transformers, and we were doing some stuff. In fact, she just threw me a card. I have these cards that I use in the front of my comic boxes to kind of tell what's in the box.
Inside the box? Yeah, that's
right,
cool.
and I have I saw that some other guy on YouTube had done this, and I'm like, oh my god, that is brilliant! I know what box has this, starting with these letters in this box. I'm like, I could write that on the box, but wow, wouldn't it be cool if I could change it if I needed to, right? And I just got done, so did a bunch of big trades and things like that. You were part of that, actually, Alan. Trades, selling, and all that stuff.
Yeah,
right?
we just
And
I was going to mention that actually. I have 5 boxes with your name on it coming this way. So
right, that's awesome. That's right. I helped ship that. Hopefully, I got it to the right place. It was
no, it's at the place. It's just
okay. Good.
Now
good.
that place has to send it to me.
Nice, awesome. Well, and so going through all that, I ended up. So I had boxes that we had pulled out to show you what you might want to get from it, and others as well. So I had 2 short boxes full of Virgin variants and girly books and all that stuff.
And
stuff
that I like. Yeah.
Stuff you like, well, not only just that, but also some cool independent variant covers, period, right, and stuff like that. And so I would, and I knew that even if it wasn't just the girl aspect of it, if it was something cool, I know that you're totally into the whatever that art looks so awesome. I need that book too.
Yeah.
And so we threw all that stuff together, and so I hadn't deboxed it, right? I hadn't put everything back. So this afternoon after I got home, as kind of a cathartic thing of just relaxing and getting myself back into regular life after being camping for 3 days. I had the boxes out on this table where I'm at right now. And I was like I had already moved all the Virgin variants and my foils and all these other books into one of the boxes. So I was resorting everything and having to pop them open, write on the name on the back of the board and putting it in the thing and doing it. So I know what's what. And so I got that all done, and it ended up with a whole other short box worth of stuff that I had not put away before that. And so now I've actually put away all of that stuff for the first time. I think I want to say it's probably the first time I've had that whole section of stuff put away. And had you not bought what you bought and a couple of other people had bought what they bought, I'd probably have 5 short boxes worth of stuff over there.
Wow.
Right now. But of just Virgin variant covers and the pretty rogues and the Black Widows and all that stuff. So
where are you picking up the stuff? How do you get the stuff? How do you acquire?
Well, so it's funny you say that. When it comes to the pretty cool books, I get a lot of those from Whatnot from my friends at Buy More, and they have these wall books things where you can on a wheel spin, right? Well, speaking of that, last week when I was on their stream, or maybe it was about a week ago. It was longer than a week ago. I picked up I won their what they call the Goddess box.
This is cool. Your hand just went through the screen.
I know it did. and so the Goddess box is usually a bunch of girl cover variants. And they're Dawn, the wife, Joe and Dawn do the show together, and Dawn usually curates these boxes. And so this was the girl box or the Goddess box this last week, or the one that I had won.
That looks nice. I'm seeing it, and it's about this big.
Should I make it bigger? Let me make it bigger.
No. I'm seeing it on my phone. That's the problem.
Oh, you're on your phone.
It's not like it's going to get that much bigger, but
right.
It looks nice from the.
Well, yeah, I should actually make it a little bit bigger for the audience, though. So I'll pop this. I'll pop this up so it's the main thing.
Oh yeah.
So that is issue 2 of the Strange Academy, and that's the Agatha cover. Then I got this Black Widow number 1.
Agatha looks way sexier than I remember. Okay.
Yes.
What are you doing?
She's drawing in here.
What are you
She's
doing?
getting the Aunt May treatment for sure.
You didn't tell me you were doing a live stream tonight.
Yeah. All right.
I want ice cream.
Oh, my wife is calling, but it's okay. All right, honey. We'll get that taken care of in a little bit.
Yeah.
Not much longer, I think.
Okay.
Well, anyway, so then I got that Black Widow. I apologize, guys, that my wife just was.
Yeah, it's okay. My wife says the same.
Ice cream is a crucial need, so
yes.
you need to get that taken care of.
Oh, I will. And then this beautiful Wonder Woman cover. And Bigby confirmed something for me earlier. That cover I showed you earlier was an Art Germ cover. This is an Art Germ cover of Catwoman.
Oh yeah, that's a good one.
That's
Catwoman issue 2.
Yeah, it's a great one.
And then this was a part of the Goddess box too. It is a Linsner Elvira cover, number 1, Mistress of the Dark. I think I have a friend who might be interested in that particular comic book.
Oh yeah, Steven might.
Yes, but I happen to know that Bigby really likes Linsner too.
Really? Okay, that's interesting. That's funny.
And then we showed one of these earlier too. I actually won this on a different wheel spin, but that's the Art Germ. That's the Art Germ Batman '92 variant cover.
I have the. Is there a trade dress version? I have that. I have that cover, but I'm not sure.
No, that's actually the trade dress variant.
Yeah, that's the one I have. Okay, that's the one I have. I can see barely the trade dress.
Yeah, it's a limited trade dress, so it's just a little bit of the trade dress, and then it's got the skew on it. Now, I think I couldn't find Linsner's name on this, but I think this is a Linsner cover.
I can tell by the art if it's.
Yeah, you look at it, you're gonna tell me. The face looks
it's
like
not
it's
Linsner.
It's not Linsner. Okay,
no, it's not. No.
But it's still gorgeous. Grim Fairy Tales cover. So this is where a lot of these come from for me. As I go and I win a Goddess box from them, one spin, $12, and I end up with a box of $100, $200 comics box.
That's a good way to play.
Yes, and then there's a Peach Momoko cover, which not really the goddess box in the sense of Peach, other than it being Peach Momoko herself being the goddess, and then this really great Jenny Frison Harley.
Oh, that's nice.
Issue
Actually,
28.
I have that one. I was collecting Frison for a little while.
Yeah, I like Frison's art. I mean, it's there's a little bit of it's kind of scary. I'll admit. She kind of her art is a little scary to me. Just because
I just find it a little bit repetitive after a while.
Right.
Yeah, it's good, but it gets a little bit repetitive. Like, I don't know.
Right. I see there's a bit of a, I don't know if you notice it. So when I look at art, I look through and I kind of look at the colors that artists choose and the design ideas that they choose. And I feel like Jenny Frison's art always has kind of a dark overtone or undertone to it. So the character you're looking at always is one shade off of evil or one shade off of good, right? And it's this very really, and you're not really sure, is it a good guy, is it a bad guy when you're looking at him? I mean, you look at the most recent one she did for Something Is Killing the Children, and it's just like, is Jessica's the main character's name, right? Is she really a good guy? And so I mean, that's and so thanks for giving me an opportunity to show my next part of my books. That was fun. I appreciate that a lot. That was awesome.
Good segue.
The last 3 books I got from them, it went on, and these 3 came from the spins that I showed earlier with that Captain America 600. There was this really cool limited foil and embossed Detective Comics number 990. This is so cool. I mean, you can't see it. I mean, you can kind of see the embossed bats. These lines right here, they're bats there. But the dots in the bat cape, they're embossed too. And so you can see there's like this dotty embossedness. I can't see.
I can see that there's a texture to something.
Yeah, and it's just and that's a Jacques cover that's done that way, and that's such a cool cover. And then this book was are
those batarangs that he's throwing out? Is that the idea?
Yeah, those are batarangs that are flying forward, and then the red sky background. Those are all batarang kind of lines of batarangs across it. Oh, look, I'm doing the lines with my arm. You can see it in the reflection. Cool. And then there was this really cool flash, 1 in 100, I think, limited foil from 2 weeks ago, I think, or 3 weeks ago. Neat. Gosh, it's such a cool cover. I mean, it's what DC does for their stuff. So even though it has the DC logo on the front, they'd call that a Virgin variant. But man, running into the Speed Force and that the fiery lightning bolt in this Flash storyline, I read the first 2 issues, was really kind of an interesting, kind of almost horror psychodrama. And then, of course, I have to put this up because this was the 1 in 50 I won on the show for out of stuff. I got the Scotty Young Wolverine for Blood Hunt Wolverine number 1, and that's a 1 in 50. The Scotty Young did a bunch of covers for Marvel this month. That like every comic had a Scotty Young cover with a single character like this on it, and I have a Captain America coming, and I won on a previous. I won from a previous show with a different group. I won the Cyclops one. I think the Cyclops one is probably my favorite, just because I love Cyclops.
Scotty Young Cyclops.
Yeah, it's a Scotty Young Cyclops, and has a blast going up, and it kind of goes off the page up to the left, and it's just really cool. And wow. I was really impressed with that whole thing. So it was one of those really, hey, that's really cool. Wow, he did that. And then in the color versions, the Cyclops and the Jean Grey covers are together because the blast goes across the top corner of her page, and it's it's kind of cool because I think one is Fall of the House of X5 and the other one is Rise of the House of X, or Rise of Powers of X5. So I could be wrong, but I think that's the two covers. But yeah, I mean, so that's kind of it. I was going to show. Well, actually, my daughter wants me to show some Transformer covers that I recently picked up, or I recently got. They got while I was out of town. Actually, I'm going to show these. So while I was out of town, apparently GameStop decided they were going to do a special Transformers #1.
Okay.
Limited to, you had to buy $25 to get of Transformers toys or something in the game. Separate purchases in the store, and you could to get one. I was like, oh, that's so cool. It would be awesome if we got two of them. I made the comment, so they got me two of this cover.
Oh, okay.
And I think that's actually Daniel Warren Johnson art on that cover. I think that's an exclusive that he did. And you can see Starscream is about ready to get punched in the face by Optimus Prime. I just think that's such a great cover. It's awesome. And then and a part of the purchase they made, they got this 2-issue Bumblebee and Wheeljack. And it's like, I think this is supposed to be like, they're supposed to be Gen 1 storylines. But it's a blister pack. I haven't opened it yet, but because I just got home today, and this is one of the things. So this was where it was one of those cool, just cool. Come home, and I have their comics set up on here, and then Bigby asked me to show what I have in my background, the comics I have in my background.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm going to go ahead and do that. I'm going to step away from this camera. Well, no, they can't see me. Only you guys can.
Yeah, we can only see the foreground right now. Whatever you're showing right now.
Right. So in the background, I have. So this is the background I use for my Jack Kirby, Jack Kirby shorts that I've been doing, where I show a piece of his art and read a blurb about what the art was. And these are the pieces that are in the background. So I have a Tales of Suspense 58, the first battle of Captain America and Iron Man.
Yeah, that's good stuff.
A Black Panther #1.
Nice.
Very cool.
And it's a really nice copy too. I mean, it's pretty clean. It's got a little bit of a spine roll, but it's beautiful. And I acquired this. This is the third one I've had. So, but this, because I was, in 2021, this book was so hot, and I had
really pricey.
And I was able to. I had a couple of them that my father-in-law had purchased in 2019, and so I was able to. I had one graded that was. It came back as a. I want to say it came back as a 7.5, and that sold like hotcakes. And then I had probably one that was about a 5.5, and I thought, oh, I'll keep that for the collection. But then I was chatting with someone, and we're like, oh man, if I could get I'm looking for a Black Panther #1. I'm like, I got one. And I told him what condition was on it, and he was like, I want it. I'll give you. And so we had this, we negotiated a price, and I was like, I'm like, are you sure? How about, can we? And it's like, because, I want to be generous with what I have. I don't ever want to, I never want to not give something more than what someone, try to give more to someone. When they buy from me, I try to give more to someone when I trade with them. I try to give the most and give the best value for someone. And because it's important to me. I mean, I was talking to Mon Comics today, and we were talking about it. He had bought some stuff from me. And when he got the stuff, there was extras in there, which, sorry, spoilers. Alan, there's probably some extras in your boxes.
I
So
wish I actually feel it bad. I wish I put one more thing in the box that I sent. I sent Bigby a shirt. I should have sent you a shirt too.
oh,
I feel
we
bad.
got time.
Well,
When you-
no,
when-
I've already
whenever-
sent it.
Oh, okay.
He already has the box now.
Oh yeah. Well, and here's the thing. I I never expect anything from anybody else, and it's always awesome when I get stuff. So, that it's cool. I was actually thinking you're selling those shirts, aren't you, Alan?
Yeah, I am. So, by
Well-
the way, I can maybe give you something else.
Okay.
Something cool, not a shirt. You just have to give me your address, and I
Sure.
can. When my comic comes out, I'll give you a copy. Of some
Oh
of the-
yeah, I'm excited for that. I can't wait, man. That's
and
gonna be
I'll give you a
awesome.
like whatever one you want.
Well, here's the thing. Those 5 boxes all have my address on them. So you
Well,
have.
so here's what happens.
Oh, they
just so
strip
you
it.
know. They strip it.
Oh, okay. Well, I'll send you. I'll send you my
Instagram
address.
me it.
Yeah,
Instagram
on
me it.
Instagram.
Yeah.
Totally.
Hey guys,
Absolutely.
really quick. Sorry to interrupt. It's getting to be pretty late where I am, and I've got to go ahead and dip. But it was really fun being on with you guys. And Travis, I hope you'll have
Absolutely.
me back again at some point.
Oh yeah, totally. I will probably do another live stream in the very near future. And so
if you
I'm
want to come on my channel, you can on Fridays. I open it up to everybody.
yeah.
All right, that sounds awesome.
I would love to, Alan, but I'm unfortunately I work until really late on Friday nights, so I can't. I generally don't do anybody's. My schedule changed. Well, Lettuce, thank you again for joining, and everyone in the chat, sub up Lettuce. Follow him. Great stuff. He and he's a Captain America lover, so there's nothing. You can't go wrong there. And if you, I was going to show the last 2 books in the background. So you have a great day, Lettuce. Thank you, or a great night, and have a great, wonderful rest of your week. And we will talk
both of y'all
on the
too.
other sides. Yes.
Thank you so much.
Mm-hmm. So I'm going to show 2 more books, and then Alan, if you want to show some stuff, I can let you do that. But I'm going to probably need to wrap up here in a few minutes.
Sure.
So of course you guys can kind of see the Thor. It's interesting. These books right here, a part of them are, I've been building this little collection called wall books. And so out in my family room where my family is, we have a kind of a comic book room. And in that comic book room, we have, sorry, I should have said, hey, we're going to go back on screen.
It's like,
I'm falling. Whoa. Anyway, so as a part of this, my wife found this poster at our LCS, and that's I Like Comics. If you guys are in Vancouver, Washington, or Portland, Oregon, or around the area, it found this poster, and it had all these really cool Marvel covers on it. And so I'm like, she's like, I want that poster, and I want to frame it. I'm like, really? She's like, yes. So we bought it and we framed it. And I started looking at the books and I'm like, I think I want every book that's on that poster.
Yeah,
and so
I remember you were telling me about that when we did our interview.
Yeah. And so this is one of the books this was actually one of the the 3rd or 4th book I got for the poster. So, and that in fact the Iron Man, the Tales of Suspense 58 was the last book I picked up for the.
So do you have all the poster books?
Not yet. There's 2 books I don't have, and they're kind of pricey. I mean, they're Hulk 181.
Okay.
And then Marvel Spotlight, the Ghost Rider.
Yeah.
Marvel Spotlight number 5. So
yeah.
So those are the 2 that are kind of way out of my price range. I almost had at the shop one week. I was actually paying off a different book, so I couldn't put another book on the shelf. I know that Chris probably would have let me do it, and if Chris is watching this, I know you would probably have let me do it. However, he had a 5. He had one in probably a 4.0, and I thought, you know what, that's okay. That's
almost manageable.
Yeah, it's almost manageable,
expensive.
and yeah, but it was like, and it was a great price. But there was another book I wanted. He had a really nice copy of Conan, #1, and that was when
Oh,
I
wow.
decided to buy the Conan #1
Yeah,
instead.
yeah.
And so I was like, okay, that's got to be the book. So, and so that was the final. That was kind of like, okay, that was because that's kind of been on my wish list for a really long time because I'm a huge Barry Windsor Smith fan, and so it's like one of those books that I just had to have. So let me show the last book, and then we will probably wrap up.
Okay.
Unless you got something you want to share.
I can show a couple things, but
But I don't want to make my wife waste
Yeah,
away
yeah,
from not
ice-
getting
ice
her ice
cream.
cream.
yeah, ice cream's important.
She'll survive.
So, and then I have this Forever People #1, which my father-in-law picked up for me, and I was so.
Wow.
Basically, if you're watching my channel right now, the shorts that I'm doing, the majority of my shorts right now are a Jack Kirby, kind of a Jack Kirby storyteller type thing. I'm pulling, I show an image from this book and I read some of the copy in from it. And that's what I do on the short and add a little bit of music in the background that I think matches the character. And so, they're all, I think the longest one I had was 55 seconds long. But they're cool, and it kind of gives a little bit of history, and I kind of like that little fun aspect of it.
Mhm.
And I've had this book for 20 years because I got it when I worked for Bigby at his shop back when he had his shop, so 20 plus years actually. So
Wow.
so
You
yeah.
probably got it for a good price back then.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I didn't. I'm pretty sure I didn't pay cover, but no, I bet I ordered this one. This is probably one I ordered. So it would have been, but it would have come out of my
Salary.
yeah, my salary because I got paid in product, and there's no price tag on this. Oh,
Mhm.
there it is. Oh yeah, okay. So tabletop books back then,
Mhm.
$12.95.
Not bad.
No, not at all. So this would have been, and today this would be a $24 book, I'm sure.
You
So-
doubled your money.
Yeah, that's awesome. But so anyway, so I mean, Alan, you want to show any really cool books that you recently picked up?
Actually, I don't have any of the ones that I was hoping I could mention my Kickstarter if that's okay.
Oh yeah, you feel free to. I'll give you the floor and you can have it.
And I'll show a couple cool books too, just for fun. So I'm doing a Kickstarter. If Bigby's around, he can link to it. Basically, it's about the Vixens of the Golden Age. There's different characters like Senorita Rio. These are all characters that are sort of lost to the Golden Age. Miss Mask, kind of a cool character. She looks sexier in the Golden Age. I'll show you from the Golden Age. This is Patrick Finch did this one in this Miss Fury. Actually, I saw some pretty cool drops that we're going to be doing. And this is Bill Maz. He did the character is Tara of the not Tara, Judy of the Jungle.
Cool.
So, and then Black Cat.
Nice.
So these will all be like pages within the comic.
Oh, cool.
It's kind of like a pinup book, but it also gives like all the key books that you need to pick up if you're interested in the characters.
Oh, that's
This
cool.
This is the guy that did Cherry Pop Tart. He did Bullet Girl, so Bullet Girl,
Nice.
and George Weber, and yeah, some Bondici Rula. That's Rula, and it's just like if you're interested in Golden Age, but don't want to pay a Golden Age price, you can sort of get a book that has like sort of an anthology of all their origin stories, and then a pinup of each character. And it has 14 different characters that I'm spotlighting. So, and then there's really great artists that got involved and helped me with it.
That's really cool, man.
Yeah, so I'm actually going to show you just a couple books. Wait, I just have some. This is what Miss Mask looked like in the Golden Age.
Oh, that's sweet. That's a great book, man. That's awesome.
Yeah,
And it's a great yellow cover too. I mean, love how the colors pop on that.
I guess they did a lot of yellow covers because yellow was cheap.
Mhm.
But yeah, it's a fun one. And then here's another Miss Mask.
Nice.
And Black. Do you know Black Terror? Or
Yeah, so The character, I've heard of the characters. Didn't they use them in? Wasn't it? I'm trying to think. It
Project
wasn't.
Superpowers.
Yeah, Project Superpowers. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
That's exactly what I was thinking.
Yeah, and then we got Ellery Queen. These are all just
Nice.
ones when I recorded my video recently. I just had these all for that. I'll just quickly show a couple more. A few
Cool.
more. Just quickly. This is a really cool book, actually. I'm not sure if you're familiar with it.
No, I've never heard
It's
of.
the first book devoted to a black female character.
Oh wow, that's cool.
Yeah, it's Friday Foster.
Is she like a photojournalist or
Yeah, basically, kind of very Lois Lane-like, if that makes
Oh,
sense.
nice. Yeah, totally.
And she actually had her like a series that was in the strips, and then they decided to do a comic for her.
That's really cool.
Yeah. And then we have A Date with Judy, number 2.
Nice.
Good girl art. I don't know. If it's
Right.
sure. You can see. Maybe it looks a little bit better.
That's cool.
I got this for basically the cost of the slab.
Nice.
It was
Wow.
like nobody bid on it. I was like, why is nobody bidding on this? It's so cool. And then this is a Dan DiCarlo cover, A Date with Millie.
Well, that's cool. Yeah.
Yeah. I just like the good girl stuff.
Yeah.
And one more, and then I'll let you go. Is Camera Comics. I love these. I love fire covers, like where
Yeah.
there's like fires going crazy. I mean, they'd be totally incinerated if this was the case, right? I mean, it looks
Right,
like
exactly.
Fires like going through them, basically.
Yeah, that
So-
is really cool. I like that a lot. That's kind of, it has that same kind of atomic feel type, the burning around everybody. I like that stuff a lot.
Yeah, this is from 1945.
That's
So it's
cool.
pretty cool. These camera comics were interesting. They'd be sort of a mixture of a comic plus they'd have like articles from different photographers that were following the military around.
Mm-hmm.
So
Oh, that's
you'd
really
get like
cool.
war photos inside mixed in. It was
Yeah.
really interesting.
Well, in this box right below me right now, there's a box that my father-in-law brought over. He has a bunch of silver and golden age stuff that I'm going to be going through and looking at and pricing out.
Okay.
So,
That would be cool.
and there's one of them was a mail-in called Men at War, and it wasn't like the DC
Okay.
comic, but
I know Men at War. Yeah.
and it has this cardboard cover that's stapled to it as well, that has the mailer still on the front cover with the guy's
wow.
address and everything. So
That's really
I'm going to be showing a bunch of this stuff because they kind of want me to price it out, and maybe I'd be the one selling it, and maybe I'll be buying some of it. I don't know.
You
So
never know.
yeah, and I actually going through the Kirby stuff, I'm actually kind of hooked on some of the older Kirby stuff that was not Marvel or DC. So I have a Joe Simon Kirby and Kirby book sitting on my shelf.
Oh, is that
right
when
now
they
for you to
sort
pick
of
up.
were on their own?
Yeah, for when they were on their own for a little while, and it was one of the characters. I think it's one of the cowboy
was it-
characters.
I want to say Atlas Comics or not
Yeah,
Atlas.
not Atlas, but
It was similar. What's it called? I know it's something. It's not Atlas, but it has like an A.
yes. I think you're correct. I think you're thinking the right thing.
Uh,
I could always go back and watch my video, but it would be really easy just to flip open the book here, and and then go back to our screen so we're both on the screen here again, and then and so I can tell you here, yeah, it would be no, not the Boy Commandos, that was DC, not Sandman, not Sandy. It's a little bit further. Oh, Boys Ranch, not Boys Ranch, but yeah, but that's about the same era. And I picked up a Bullseye one of the issues of Bullseye.
okay.
And it's it's not.
And that's a Simon and Kirby artwork?
It's a Simon and Kirby character that they created, and I'm seeing if they say who the company is. Now they don't say who it is. But it was Bullseye #1. This was inked by Tony Harris, and it was a
I
sketch
almost
of.
picked that book up just recently, believe it or not. And then
Really?
I sort of passed on it. I could have gotten it for just such a insanely low price.
Mhm.
And then an auction happened afterwards for the same book. Somebody else had a copy of it, and it sold for a really crazy high price.
Yeah,
I was kicking myself the whole time.
I have I think it's issue 3 on my shelf, and I'm getting an insanely great deal on it. So I'm looking
Yeah.
forward to actually having it. And it's because I kind of, after reading through this and seeing the characters, I kind of have feeling like there's something more to these characters that we didn't get to have before. Well, Alan, I really appreciate you coming on tonight. I really appreciate everyone hanging out in the chat. It has been wonderful to share the comics that I picked up over the last few weeks, and it's been great talking about comics with all you guys. So I really appreciate you all, and have a wonderful night and a great week. And I will see you all later. Bye-bye.